Yes. Ah, guns. Guns are in the news. I have some experience with guns I'd like to tell you about. 2018, so 26 years ago this year, I graduated from college. I know I don't look like it, but it was that long ago. My grandfather wanted to take me on an adventure, so we went to Alaska. And we fly into Anchorage. The first night we get there, we drive to this little town called, nobody had heard of it at this point, Wasilla, Alaska. So you guys are like, oh yeah, Wasilla, Alaska, that's where Sarah Palin's from. Well, nobody knew who Sarah Palin was back then. But we drove to Wasilla, Alaska. It was pouring down rain. It was ridiculous rain. I don't think I've seen rain like that since. We get there, we stay with my mom's cousin. His name's John T. He's a cowboy. He actually drove horses for the movie, what was that Kevin Costner movie? Dances with Wolves. He drove horses across the plains for this movie. He was like the cowboy that did this. Real badass. It's pouring down rain. He is building a house in Wasilla. So what he's doing while we're there is he's got these mobile homes, 3 of them, that he's welded together kind of in a zigzag. Nice. He's put on property, he's welded them together, and then for his front porch, he took an old school bus and welded it to, like he was a welder too, besides a horse guy, and delivering mail and all this other stuff, right? He took this school bus and he welded it as an entryway to his whole house. And we walk into the school bus, and the school bus is flooded. It's absolutely flooded. It's like we're like ankle deep in water. Water's cold. We walk into the kitchen. You know, I take my shoes off. We sit down, and John T. walks over to the pantry. And he doesn't stop at the pantry. He goes to the next cabinet. He opens up the cabinet. It's the biggest arsenal I've ever seen in my life. Dude is ready for war. Pulls out his trusty .357 Magnum, loads 4 bullets, walks out to the flooded school bus entry. Walks back in. Problem solved. So people ask me, people say, why do you need these guns? Why do you need a semi-automatic rifle? Why do you need an AR-15? And I'm a gun guy, and I just say, because it might rain harder. Thank you. I have this really terrible habit when I do comedy, which is on a laugh line. I will, because I'll hold the mic like this, and I'll just kind of dip the mic down.
Thanks for the cue.
Right, for the cue. And I hate it, because I'm videoing, right? And I'll watch that later, and I'll see it, and I'll be like, that's terrible. So I have a comedian friend who said, Brad, go with it and explain it, and it'll be funnier. And so, yeah, that's what that was about. It was a bad chick, and that's the explanation. You guys watch that police chase at the end of February? It ended in Irvine with a dog taking out the perp. So the perp's name was Antonio Padilla. He was a bad guy. The day before, he was stopped for some traffic violation, and he tried to back up over the cop, and then he got away. The Santa Ana police chased him down the next day, and they got in a car chase with him. So he takes his truck to Irvine, and he crashes his truck. He gets out, he takes this lady's SUV, and then goes speeding down Jamboree into like an office park or whatever. You know, when you watch this high-speed chase, like on Channel 4, like I did live, you notice how nice it is south of the 55. I mean, yeah, like the neighborhoods, the office parks, and whatever else, very, very well planned out, very nice. Anyway, he crashes into a curb there and takes off running. He is like, it looks like he's going to get away running, because the Santa Ana PD, they're chasing him, are like way behind. They get out of their cars. They're not really, pursuing him or anything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this dog. The dog's name is Puskas, after a famous Hungarian footballer, and that's like soccer, not football, because it's Hungary. And he's like, long time ago, I think he died in the early 2000s. But he's like Europe's Pele, I guess. Well, they named this dog Puskas. Puskas goes like 100 miles an hour after this guy, leaps about 10 feet in the air and takes him down. Well, Puskas hit his jaw on the cement as he took him down. And Puskas broke some teeth and had to have surgery. And, you know, I kind of imagined, you know, as I'm watching this, I didn't know it was Santa Ana PD. I thought it was the Irvine PD. And I kind of thought, I'm thinking movie. Like, it could be called, well, if it wasn't the Santa Ana PD, it could be called Irvine Canine. And I imagined what happened was the canine unit pulls up, and the officer goes over to Puskas and says, Puskas, now you got to get this guy. He's a real bad guy. He tried to kill a cop with his car yesterday. So you go out and you go get him. And that's what explains why the perp was able to run so far before Puskas came into the picture and took him out. And the movie would be called, again, Irvine Canine, but that doesn't work. Okay, so these dogs, they cost like $20,000 to $25,000 each for police departments to train. That's according to the Burbank Police Department, I think. Somewhere up there. I read it in Wikipedia. And they're very smart dogs. Meanwhile, I'm training my dog not to eat its own shit. If you ever have this problem with your dog eating its own shit, there's an old wives' tale that says if you put meat tenderizer on the food, the dog will stop eating its own shit. And I didn't believe it, but we tried it, and for the most part, it worked. Like, it's worked very, very well. We had a little incident this weekend, but I think it's just due to not having put enough meat tenderizer on the food. But like for weeks, this was doing really, really well. But this is the difference between a trained police dog and the dogs that we have. I was walking the dog the other day. Her name's Luna. She is a white boxer. She's a big, big dog. She's also deaf. You know, she can't hear. You guys are supposed to say, oh, poor Luna, she's deaf. Then you're supposed to say, I'll pray for her so that she could hear. Because I've had people walk up to me and say, I'm going to pray for your dog so that she could hear. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Because I like it when I come in and she's lying down and she doesn't come to jump on me until I get the groceries put away. Then I go wake her up. I like that. So don't pray for Luna's hearing. That's not cool. We're walking, and this lady comes up to us and says, your dog looks like a pit bull. And I'm like, that's an interesting thing to say to me. And it's like, you didn't say to me like, you didn't say it like, your dog looks like a pit bull, can I lick its taint so that I could get magical powers, you know, and maybe be better at my job, earn more money, have better hair. No, you said it to me like, your dog looks like a pit bull, and that's a problem. And my dog's not a pit bull. And I kind of looked at her and I said, well, you know, my dog thinks you look like an asshole.